And that absolutely is a problem.
And Alderwoman Taylor says she's now seen some of them firsthand.
The people who are keeping up the trouble are the people who are kicked out of the damn shelter.
Is she cursed?
Come talk so they have a voice.
A call for order during a heated meeting at Woodlawn's Apostolic Church of God.
Who's helping me?
The focus, this migrant shelter in the old Wadsworth Elementary School.
I would ask you all to go out there at night, in the middle of the night, and see what goes on.
What's going on, according to community members, is loitering, late-night partying, littering, prostitution, and at least one fight between migrants and residents.
It got a little heated. Objects got thrown.
But many of these residents say they no longer have any tolerance for the disruptive behavior by those seeking asylum here.
Look at me. Stop voting for Democrats.
So, I'm apologize. I was on my phone looking up, like, what is a migrant shelter? Migrant shelters are welcoming centers where room and board is offered along with spiritual help and guidance, basic medical attention, defense and promotion of human rights. See, in theory, something like that sounds good. It really does. It really does, in my opinion. But just imagining why that would be a bad thing. There's so many things that can go wrong if you do something like that. Like, people are going to take advantage of it. They're going to try to finesse the system, do all they can do to just milk the system. So yeah, that doesn't sound like it could be the best thing, depending on where it is.
Historically, gold has been the safe free information kit from Birch. I wanted to make this video. I was going to make another video about Jason Aldean and his new concert. Maybe I'll still make it. But I had to make a video about the people of Melanin and their fallout with the illegal immigrants in Chicago. Let me just state this very clearly. I've been saying this for the last several years. Democrats don't care about black folks. They only want to manipulate you, manipulate emotions so that they can get votes. Stevie Wonder can see that illegal immigration is negatively affecting the black community.
Bro, I just saw this video. Like, I just watched it. It was actually one of his videos. Shout out to the officer Tina. It was about Whoopi Goldberg speaking about Vice President Kamala Harris. And in the video, Vice President Kamala Harris was basically saying that the Florida educational system is racist, and they're trying to basically stop people from learning about black history. And one of Whoopi Goldberg's points that she brought up is actually very relevant. She said they're trying to manipulate you. They're trying to stop you from voting Democrat. That's why they say stuff like this. Because she was talking about Ron DeSantis. And I was like, that doesn't make much sense to me, because Kamala Harris, vice president, she was actually not telling the truth in her video. So for Whoopi Goldberg to say that, don't listen to Ron DeSantis, they're just trying to sway you from not voting Democrat. I mean, yeah, because a lot of the times they're lying. Like, it's a literal lie.
Inner city communities, as well as the nation. But more specifically, they're not sending these people to high net worth areas. They're sending them to the poorer areas in our country, to the inner city areas in our country that are saturated with black people. And there has been fallout. And people are upset, rightfully so. In New York, they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars for illegals. Chicago spending hundreds of millions of dollars for illegals. And they're prioritizing illegal immigrants over American citizens who are in tough positions, who are in inner city communities, who are in impoverished areas. Instead of building up the schools, they paying hundreds of millions of dollars to put these people in hotels and stuff. And these people are not coming over here to assimilate. They're coming over here to commit crimes. And some of them may be unintentionally committing crimes because they don't know what else to do.
Bruh. I don't know too much about this topic, so I'm not even going to speak about it too much. I'm more so here to learn more about it. But I will say this, bro. We do need to start putting a focus on our people. Like, I did a video where I was taking a 2023 political quiz, and it was talking about the cartel, the Mexican cartel. And a question was asking, like, do you think the government should focus on the Mexican cartel? And I was like, I voted no, I think. I said no. And then a comment was kind of like going at me, which rightfully so. You're allowed to debate what I say in my videos. That's why I post them. Like, If you disagree, please say something. He was like, well, that really does affect our country. That really does affect the country. So we need to talk about that. And the reason I say no for should the government focus on that, and I'm gonna talk about it, is because it's not that I don't think it's wrong or nothing. It's because when we do have our issues, I feel like sometimes we focus more on other countries or other places rather than, you know, stuff that we can solve. Like, for example, this situation right here. Instead of us looking out for our low income areas, we're building centers for, I guess, illegal immigrants. In my opinion, I would rather us focus on our issues. Like, that's just what I personally think. So when I take these quizzes and when my view of the country, I'm like, yeah, I want our citizens to thrive the best we could. That's my goal. That sounds kind of cold, but that's what I want.
I'm gonna play this clip, and then I want you to think about this. Listen to how black people are talking about the illegal immigrants, the illegal aliens, and what they're doing to the community. And then I want you to do this very thing, and I know people are gonna be mad at me for saying this. I want you to picture how white people feel when these gangbangers come to their communities. Now just imagine if white people had a press conference or they had a town hall meeting where they were describing these thugs that come into the community and destroy the community, creates what they call white flight. I was a part of that. We lived in Crowley. They moved the projects to Crowley and they just destroyed the community. The same way that they're saying these illegals did. But just imagine if white folks saying the same thing, just change places and tell me would it be acceptable or would there be outrage? But I do agree with the citizens here. There's a problem and they should be standing up. Roll the clip.
Frustration, anger, and confrontations all on display as neighbors in Woodlawn gather to talk about what they call big problems at a nearby migrant shelter. New at 10, CBS 2 political investigator Dana Kozlov takes us through what happened.
Let them talk so they have a voice.
A call for order during a heated meeting at Woodlawn's Apostolic Church of God.
Who's helping me?
The focus, this migrant shelter in the old Wadsworth Elementary School.
I would ask you.
Let me just say this, the old Wadsworth Elementary School. That means that the school shut down and the city did not rebuild the school. Probably an inner city school.
And that's the thing, bro. This stuff is like a slap in the face. It's like a slap in the face because when you see a neighborhood that's struggling, they're crying for help. They got schools shutting down. Instead of rebuilding a newer school, well, I don't know if they rebuilt the school, but if a school is shut down, schools don't just randomly shut down. Schools are shut down by the government when they have structural issues or when too many people aren't graduating. That's why schools shut down. So you in a low-income neighborhood, you got schools shutting down. Instead of building a better school, a better system, you built a freaking migrant shelter. Like, you know how disrespectful that is? That is a literal slap in the face to your community, bro.
And instead, they are rebuilding it, remodeling it, reinvigorating the school to put illegals in it instead of putting children in it and giving them a good education.
To go out there at night, in the middle of the night, and see what goes on.
What's going on, according to community members, is loitering, late-night partying, littering, prostitution, and at least one fight between migrants and residents.
It got a little heated. Objects got thrown.
But many of these residents say they no longer have any tolerance for the disruptive behavior by those seeking asylum here. It's making them feel unsafe.
They disrespect us, they rob us, they harass us.
And their patience is wearing thin.
Let me say this. They got one more time to deal with it, because otherwise, next time they deal with it, they're going to deal with it from the streets. We're going to take over it. Nobody's going to be able to stop us from what we're going to do to them.
Much of the residents' anger was directed at city officials in attendance, including 20th Ward Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor, Chicago Deputy Police Chief Stephen Chung, and Family and Support Services Commissioner Brandy Kanazi. At one point, police had to intervene.
Because we need to start looking out for our communities first. And when I say stuff like that, I took a political quiz, because y'all probably didn't watch that video, but I'm gonna explain it. I took an old one that came out like 10, 15 years ago. And I was literally dead in the center. Like, I was in the exact center of it. That video was still up. I was in the exact center. But then I took a modern one made in 2023, that a same political quiz, one that was made 2023. I was like a super far right-wing nationalist. That's what they called me. I was like, what? Just because I believe that we should look out for our country first, our citizens first. I like the Constitution. I was like a super far right-wing. But I'm only saying all this to say, when you're an elected official and your task is to look out for your people, why are you building shelters for people who aren't in your community, who aren't from your community? Who told you to do this? It just feels like a lot of virtue signaling. It feels like you don't really care about your people. It just feels like you're trying to do the right thing for, I don't know.
Intervene, breaking up an argument during public comments.
And that absolutely is a problem.
And Alderwoman Taylor says she's now seen some of them firsthand.
The people who are keeping up the trouble are the people who are kicked out of the damn shelter.
You hear how that lady talk? Listen to what she said. People are...
And then she gonna try to gaslight them, saying like they don't live in these neighborhoods. It's people who live in the neighborhoods. People who are keeping up the trouble are the people who are kicked out of the shelters. Destroy the shelter. Move the shelter from your neighborhood. Put those resources back into your community. That's what you should be doing.
Kicked out of the what shelter? Listen how she talking. Why we gotta be so ghetto all the time?
And that absolutely is a problem.
And Alderwoman Taylor says she's now seen some of them firsthand.
The people who are keeping up the trouble are the people who are kicked out of the damn shelter.
All of the city officials here at this meeting promise that they are working for solutions to make the area around the shelter better for the neighborhood and consequences for those asylum seekers who are found to be breaking the rules or the law.
Listen, you seek asylum in your own country. You don't seek asylum in a city where you flourish and you can do whatever you want to do and you're taking over the resources. You seek asylum in your own country. If we accept asylum, you can come into America. What if you seek asylum but you don't get granted asylum, but you already here? It's to me. But instead, our country is still doing it, and it's these Democrats that are doing it. So all the black people be mad at them Democrats that y'all voted in office, because Republicans would have had them out of here a long time ago.
Man, I'm not gonna get into all that political stuff because I don't really know a lot about it. I don't know who's doing it. All I know is that I don't think it's right. If you have any suggestions for me, comment down below. It's Jojo, and I'll see y'all next time.